Next time you come, I'm gonna have this room set up so that way y'all can do it in here.
Okay.
That room looks small. Pretty claustrophobic.
They're actually big rooms.
You talking about that one or that one? I thought you was talking about
Oh,
that
I don't
one.
know.
Right there. 'Cause that's what he was at. Unless he's talking about in the back.
But we can do it back there too.
Yeah, he probably seen him in the back. He says where he usually do it.
Okay, you might. Are you on there? Okay, you are on there. Are we all on there? Not you, Tessa. You're not on there.
You're like,
You're not on there.
Do me a
Hey, I'm
favor.
just here for support.
Set the mic in your lap.
Set it in my lap.
So the mic's pointing towards your chin.
Okay.
I don't know if they're.
You mean like that?
Yeah, because they should be able to hear you that way.
Look like decent mics. It should be perfect.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
No, you loud as hell.
Yeah, don't
No, you
don't
good.
put it
I got-
put it in your mouth.
Oh,
I
I
love
thought
this
it was
straight
fine
from
when
where
it
y'all
was
at.
right there.
Because, I mean, if it hits the red,
Yeah, I seen it. It peaked. It definitely peaked.
y'all should be good to go.
Okay.
I'm going to just
So
start
if
it,
I
and
talk,
then
it's
I'll
not
just...
too loud if I talk like right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
no, you should be good.
But phone's on silent, please. But keep in mind, if you're turning pages, it's gonna catch it in a mic.
Well, they do be, they're
Balance.
dynamic,
Oh, okay, good.
or
Beautiful.
condenser or something like that, so that way, and they only pick up directional, so...
That's why I wanted you to point it to your channel.
Let me see if
We
it's
get all
coming
them
in here.
good nuggets that's hiding in there.
Are you coming back in yet?
So like over there in that one, they have like a whole recording studio.
Full circle.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
I have to remember that.
All right, y'all bet.
come on, sis. You got this.
Well, welcome to the episode 0 of That's It, That's All podcast with Alina. Featuring today, I do have my lovely guest, Mr. Bruce, who will be going over episode 0 with me. I have my wonderful friend Kiana here as well. Off to the side, although you cannot see her, I have my amazing sister Tessa and Marty for moral support. So thank you all for coming to episode 0 of That's It, That's All. Are you wondering why you're tuning in and watching this podcast? Possibly wondering why you should follow, listen to, or even have little interest in this podcast? Well, this isn't your average podcast, as we are not your average Black woman and Black men. We are here because we want to navigate through our past, present, and future experience in this life as Black people, in this world, and in America. My experience with life, love, career, and everything else brought me here today. I made a conscious decision that I had something to say and it's worth being heard. So as the official host of That's It, That's All podcast with Alina and my special guests here today, Bruce and Kiana, who I know you will all come to enjoy through this episode. Welcome to episode 0, Black and Living in America.
Snap it up. Okay with the intro. I like it. I like it. I like it.
So Bruce, did you want to say anything about yourself?
Oh, I love talking about me. That's my second favorite subject. So I'm Bruce Hill, New Skills, New You. I help entrepreneurs, small businesses hear yes more often without sounding salesy. So I focus a lot on personal and professional development.
Kiana, you want to say anything about yourself?
I don't know what to say. My name is Kiana, born and raised in Las Vegas. I don't know what else to say.
That's it, that's all then. Tessa?
Hi, I am Tessa Williams. Born and raised in Detroit.
Hey, 313. All right.
313 in the house. So yeah, by way of Detroit, I've been here 14 years. And I have been working for Capital One as a manager for 14 years.
There it is. There it is.
All right, so if y'all don't mind, we are going to go ahead and jump into our very first question or topic. What are some things that would make the Black community stronger, more resilient, and more connected?
That's a great question.
I want to recommend we hit everybody and then hit everybody again on this one, because the reason I created New Skills, New You was with the fundamental belief that we can evolve, that we can change. And it started out, I got myself in trouble because I forgot to tell my girlfriend at the time that I was moving 400 miles away.
How you forget to tell her you? Now wait a
Oh
minute.
man, I was a knucklehead.
It's like you had already moved on without telling her you moved on.
I had the opportunity on Tuesday. I said yes on Wednesday, and I had to transfer on Thursday. So it happened very quickly. No excuse for poor communication. But the reason I took that leap so quickly, I said to myself, where I am has gotten me what I have. I wasn't content with what I had. Grateful, but not content. So I said, if I want something different, I can go somewhere different. And at the time, I didn't realize that transformation starts on the inside. So she's like, why are you moving away? I told her, I said, man, I just want to know, is it possible? Can someone change? She said, people don't change, Bruce. And so I spent the next 4 years trying to prove her wrong. And I discovered that one new skill would change your life. And there's 3 things that happened to me while I was in this new city. None of them had anything to do with where I was physically, but I practiced reading daily. I read 30 minutes every single day. And what happens if you read 30 minutes a day, depending on how fast you read, you'll end up reading 40 to 50 books in a year. That's not difficult. 40 to 50 books is difficult, but 30 minutes a day is not difficult. And that changed my life. The second thing is to learn how to sell. And that's where my business started, because I was 100% commission. If there weren't results, there wasn't a paycheck. It wasn't no conversation. It went, oh, well, you try, here's some. Nah, it was zero. And what I learned was to have confidence in myself. And it's one of the skills I teach with New Skills, New You in my workshops. And I learned to communicate more effectively. So you could put me anywhere on God's green earth, I'm gonna triple my worth. And that was life-changing. Once I realized that all it takes to transform is one new skill, it comes back to our community. If we can teach them that they're responsible and capable of their own transformation, I think we can accelerate our evolution in a positive direction without waiting for someone to approve a bill or pass a law. We could take charge of it ourselves.
See, I think for me, it's more so about holding ourselves accountable,
Okay.
like healing ourselves, holding ourselves accountable, getting down to the root of the issue. Is it the black man that's the issue, or is it the black woman, or collectively together have we just let society tell us that I'm your issue and you my issue? And I think it goes back to when they first came out with like welfare and stuff, and the men had to leave the home, you know, so the women can get
Or you get disqualified.
yeah, or
Right,
you get
yeah.
disqualified. And so at that time, I feel like that is one of the main issues where it kind of pit us against each other, because now you have all of these households of single women, and you have this mind frame that all of these women are just independent and don't need a man, but that's not necessarily what it is. And so I think that if we can go back and start that conversation, you know, so we can evoke some healing and take accountability for some things we have done to ourselves, I definitely think that it can definitely turn our community around.
I don't want to gloss over that the external factors impact on our present situation. But before I respond, Tessa.
Well, I feel like the change come within.
I'm inclined to agree with that
and
statement.
The biggest thing for me is that what I notice, and I'm just going to be honest, because even doing this podcast, what I notice is that the black community, you have to be in certain cities to support one another. I mean, the bad part about everything, I know you speak about, you know, households, you know, where the men are absent, but at the same time, it's still a choice. You have a choice to do something different. You have a choice to do better. And I feel like I'm not pointing a finger whether it's man or woman, but you have to make a conscious decision. Is this worth us doing this, or can we find a way to come together to make it different? You know? So that's the biggest thing for me. You know, we're not working together. We complain, but yet and still we're not doing anything different.
Facts.
You know, so for me, Bruce asked me earlier, do you have a business? And I told him no.
But you do.
Well, that's sad, because I do.
Oh, wow.
But she does.
You know, and that's because, and just listening to Bruce, that's because you think less of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but twice a month, I'm selling dinners in my kitchen to make a difference. I'm not trying to be on welfare. I'm not trying to go out and borrow money that I can't pay back. So the best thing for me to do is to get in my kitchen and work, because that's what people like. They like my food. But you need support.
Yes.
You know, I'm trying to buy a food truck. So I put on there, hey guys, I'm trying to get a food truck, you know, come through. This is what I'm selling today. And it's like one person say, hey, I'm going to give you extra because that's towards your food truck. But you don't get that from everybody. You know, so if I sell 50 dinners in one day, I have one person that looked at me and said, oh, a food truck, that's what's up. And that one person is, I mean, it got to start somewhere. But I just look at the fact that we're not supporting one another the way that we should be supporting them, not just with business in our homes, you know. And you say absent men, yes, you know, it's just really sad because a lot of times society has put the men down so bad. It's like they give them a reason to say, I can't do it. I can't take care of my family. I don't know how to do this. And it comes from foundation of strong men in their lives. And, you know, I've just seen in my generation, it's just not there.
So I have a follow-up question just for that. So you always hear sometimes in the Black community, like we have this crab in a barrel mentality, right? But if you think about that quote, crabs' natural habitats is in the ocean. And then we, you know, take a net, we sweep them up, and then we put them in the barrel. So how do you think, like, we can change that? Because if you take somebody out of their natural habitat and then you put them in a situation where they have to fight to try to get to the top, how can we change the stigma of, like, or the social norms of what they've taught us, that Black people have this crab in a barrel mentality, to the fact of we literally have been taken out of our natural habitat and now we have to fight to get to the top?
Well, you know that we have to fight. So get in the fight.
But how do we stop fighting each other, I guess?
Well, that's
Yeah, I want to make a very strong distinction. I think there is some effort. I want to be deliberate and use the word cooperate. We have to cooperate. It will be effort, like we use the word fight,
yeah.
but we have to cooperate. But I don't want to leave.
Kiana.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just like we just have to find a way to just come together and support one another, whether it's like businesses in the homes, things like that. Because I feel like, I don't know, like it comes down to where like a lot of people are preaching about like one thing, but it's just like, but we're not. I feel like we're not coming together like we should be, to, you know, actually come together and everything like that. So
That's it. That's all. What about you?
I'm trying to think of the shortest response because I spend a lot of time on this question. I want to start with the individual. And my fundamental belief is when you change how you think, you change what you do. You change what you do, you change your life. And once you change your life, you've already changed the whole world. So one simple example is very interesting. My mom used to make us go look it up. We had a question, that's a great question, go look it up. And so she taught me to be inquisitive. Now, fast forward, now she reaches out to me for financial advice, for personal development, for we're reading a book right now called Tiny Habits. And so she's better with her money because of the things I learned. So I've already started to impact my family. And then I'm working on helping my brothers and sisters with their school loans. So one person can make such a huge difference in their family, and now I've impacted their families. And that ripple effect starts creating a positive change. So we talk about changing policies or community centers. I think when an individual takes responsibility for themselves, that can be a more impactful and a faster transformation than a lot of other efforts.
So have you ever heard of the 90-second rule?
I don't believe I have. No.
So supposedly it takes 90 seconds to get over something. If you focus on that emotion If you focus directly on that emotion, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's just one of those.
Okay.
So you take 90 seconds and you allow yourself to process it, right? And then within that 90 seconds, you should be able to just be over it and like forget that it even ever happened.
Okay, so I will challenge that one. I go to therapy monthly. Shout out to therapy.
Shout out to therapy.
One concept I've learned, and this actually drove me to explore therapy, was a lot of things aren't your fault, but they are your responsibility to fix them.
Absolutely.
So a lot of things aren't your fault; they're beyond our control, but it's our responsibility to fix them. So let's talk about emotional intelligence. I think that's a great way to talk about.
No, wait, because you're cutting into my next episode now. Hold on.
I'll be brief and I'll bring it back to your question. So when you talk about processing emotions, one thing we say very frequently, I've said it, right? They say, I am angry. But you're not angry. You're a spiritual being having a physical experience. You feel angry. And when I was talking to someone yesterday, I was like, what's one of your goals? They were like, I want to be happy. Well, the human being has a combination of 28 emotions. I don't want you to be happy all the time. That's a hypomanic episode. Like, that's not good. If you lose someone close to you, I want you to feel sad. If someone injures someone you care about, I want you to be angry. And I want you to recognize that, yes, I am feeling these emotions, but I am not these emotions. So, perfect. Some of us are a little nervous, right?
Absolutely.
That's okay. Be nervous. That means that you're walking in something you're uncertain or unfamiliar. And your mind doesn't like those feelings, that uncertainty. It processes it as danger. They're like, I don't know about this. What are we doing? It must be dangerous. So when we start to have emotional intelligence, we'll talk about next time. You start to realize that, hey, it's okay to feel these, and now you can actually keep them. There's a healthy level, obviously. You can actually keep them. So having that emotional intelligence, again, shout out to therapy. That's when we start to heal ourselves. Now all of our relationships are improved. Because I could put two people in a house, give them a marriage certificate. That does not mean they're going to have a healthy relationship.
That is so true.
And so again, I'll reiterate, I think the Black community starts healing when we start healing the individual.
I think the best piece of advice that I got like over the course of time from one of my therapists was only set expectations for yourself.
Ooh, that's a bar. Say it again.
Only set expectations for yourself.
That's so important.
And then when you set those expectations for yourself, then you start to learn what your boundaries are, what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept. And it made me start to think about just life in general. Like, and it didn't make me apply it to just like, oh, well, this is how I have to be with my family. Even when it comes to work. Day to day.
Especially with work.
Yeah. And so recently I had a chance to get what I thought was my dream job.
Okay.
But they would never tell me how much they were going to pay me.
Then I'm not
Until
working
I got there to do the onboarding. And on the piece of paper, it says $17.35. And in my mind, I'm on, I got a whole master's degree. And so I tried to negotiate $1 to $1.50 because I'm like, okay, I figure I'll make it work. You know, I can get in good. I'll make it work. But then something in my spirit just was like, girl, no, don't do that. You cannot do that. Because if you already feel like you are drowning, why would you go suffocate yourself?
Why would you go backwards? That's a message. You got to advocate for yourself.
So it made me realize that is a boundary that I could have. What you think?
No, I agree. And especially just like businesses, just trying to play around with you and everything like that. And you're trying to let them know, like, okay, I have a master's degree. Like, I'm more than qualified for this job. And then you're just going to offer me the $17.35.
Correct. And that's how I kind of feel like with our job, because like you have people that work in our department that are highly qualified, but like they'll tell us, oh, you have to wait 6 months
Until
you can just to go to a supervisor. But then you have who and I don't care if I get backlash for this, but you have who they think is their favor, and they gave her a position, and then less than 30 days they promoted her again. She literally did not have to wait 6 months to do nothing. But you have people who are qualified, and they like, oh, no,
You're not ready.
You're not ready.
That's actually why I grew my hair. That's why I stopped cutting my hair. I wanted to be my authentic self, and I wanted them to think twice about hiring me. So that means they either believe in my ability to do the job enough where they focus on that, or they told me no, and I saved myself a toxic environment.
That's a good one.
How you feel, Tessa?
Mm.
She said that's a loaded question.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm just gonna lay it all out there. When I first got here, from Detroit, it was me and my 3 boys, and then my daughter. One of my sons decided not to come, so I brought 2. But when I left home, I was making a certain amount of money, but then when I got here, they wanted to pay me $5 less than what I was making. But at the same time, like how you said, oh no, for me, it's like, well, you need to take this job. You got a family to take care of, right? But then I started saying, well, wait a minute. I'm in here getting all these awards.
Mm.
I'm like top 10% of the nation, and I can't get a raise? Wait a minute. So then you have to look at yourself. People are only going to do what you allow them to do, so you have to take the initiative, and that's in everything in life. We can sit back and complain all day long, but what are you going to do to change it?
Talk to me nice.
What are you going to do to change it? We can complain and not give our all, and it's up to you. So it comes with change. It's like, what are you going to do to change this? So do I keep giving y'all all my time and then you give me nothing? I mean, that's in relationships, that's with work, everything.
Family, friends, all of it.
Friends, family, it all. So at the end of the day, you the one that have to take the initiative to make your life different or change the way things are going for you. And if you feel that it's continuing to be this way, that's your fault. Period.
Yeah.
We can always say society, oh, they're holding us back there. No, you're holding yourself back.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you do not change the way you perceive it to be, then they're just going to leave you at the lower level. You're just going to stay right where you are. Nothing is going to change because you're satisfied. You're satisfied with what they're giving.
Just being content.
Even though you're not saying it.
You're not happy.
Even
but
if
you're
you
not
don't
making
realize
the
that you're doing it.
Yeah, going home every day complaining to your family, your friends, but yet you won't quit because you're too scared to take a step on yourself at that.
On yourself. Absolutely.
That's a perfect segue to one thing I want to talk about for the Black community is economic power.
Yes.
I believe there's no social justice without economic justice. And so I presented this scenario to a friend of mine just yesterday where he was forced to leave a job because some of the things we all experienced. I said, what would it be like if you had 6 months of living expenses saved and an 800 credit score and access to $50,000 in credit lines and your car's paid off? How long would you stay at a job that wasn't acting right?
Not long.
Not long.
Hour?
at all.
An hour? 30 minutes?
Give me 30
Clock out for lunch and leave?
Don't come back.
The minute that they start talking sideways,
Right.
like,
Can I
I'm
get a
out.
cup of coffee? What did you say? Knock all this over.
I'm out.
So coming back, and I'll say this over and over again, new skills do you. One new skill will change your life. So when I learn people will pay me for the things I do every day, I'm going to brag a little bit.
As you should, though. Come on.
I've been in sales for 15 years. One of my favorite sales experiences, I was fundraising for a college, and I actually attended that university, and I raised literally 7 figures for them. But I was still paying tuition. I was like, hold on. But let's fast forward. If I can take $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 from someone and send them a Christmas card, you don't think I can start a business?
You definitely can.
Talk to me nice.
Talk nice to me.
So
Talk nice to me.
now one of the things I do for coaches and consultants is I'll close their high ticket programs. So just this week, and understand for y'all listening, I don't even live here. I got up, I looked at my calendar. There's an appointment on there. I didn't even know. I hop on the call. I said, hey, how can I add value? I figured out his problem. I figured out his destination. And I showed him a path. I was like, if you do this, you'll get to where you want to go. You want to sign up now or now? He was like, what's the move? So he pays me $7,000. Never talked to him before, 26 minutes. And I don't even have to deliver the solution. So I take 20% and I went back to bed. One new skill would change your life. So now, like, you can't tell me anything under 25. Like, you trying to hire me? No, you got to talk to me nice.
Well, I guess that's it, and that's all on that. So I guess that can segue into my next question, which is, can you name 5 Black billionaires?
Ooh.
I think I can.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's see how we do.
Let's
Okay.
see.
We're gonna go Jay-Z.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go. Let's see. Will Smith.
Is
Ooh,
Will Smith
not
a-
yet.
Is he
Not
not a
yet.
billionaire
No,
yet?
he's
Not
not.
yet.
Oh my. So what I have? Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Ooh.
I know it's a really good question. I was really
That's
excited
a
what you're
really
going
good question because I'm like, all of a sudden got mind blocked that fast.
Let's see if Kiana can add a couple
LeBron
to
James.
There it
Okay.
is. There it is.
There you
Okay.
go.
One of the more
So
recent
you got
ones.
one. There you go. Come on.
Kanye West.
Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
So then Jay-Z.
hmm
Beyonce, right?
Beyonce is a billionaire.
Ooh, is that Forbes?
She is a billionaire.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that one.
Nice.
So you got one more?
Dang, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I can not think of anybody else.
Did Rihanna get certified for
Oh,
Forbes yet?
Rihanna, right?
Rihanna is a
Rihanna.
billionaire. She is.
Okay.
Think about them. Think about where you see that at. Most of the time, you notice how we just named off singers.
Hold on, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We
Yeah,
gotta get a couple more names up. We
up.
gotta get a couple more
You
names
want
up.
me to, okay. So I guess for me, I have Oprah Winfrey.
Uh-huh.
I have Robert E. Smith.
Okay, that was on my list.
I have
Yeah,
Michael
Byron.
Jordan
Okay.
Uh-oh.
and David Stewart. I got a couple, so I can. Was that my 5? I got one more to go. How many I got to go?
Let me see. Do we have Byron Allen on there?
I do not have Byron Allen on my list.
Okay, and then Reginald F. Lewis.
I don't have him on my list either.
Okay.
So on my list, my personal list, I have Oprah Winfrey,
Mm-hmm.
Robert E. Smith,
Yeah.
Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
David Stewart,
Yeah.
Mo Ibrahim King,
Okay. Don't know that one.
Michael Lee Chan,
Okay.
Jay-Z / Beyonce, Kanye West, LeBron James, and although he does not consider himself to be black, Tiger Woods,
Okay.
and as of today, right now, Madam C.J. Walker.
All right.
I love
Good
it.
list.
I love it. I love it. So that is a very important. Well, actually, let me pause. You cannot work hard to become a billionaire, and just to put you in perspective on how big of a number that is, if I continued at my current pace, it would take me 6,500 years to reach billionaire. So I really want you to put into perspective how big it is. There's 3 things that you can do to create that much wealth. It's technology, it's network, and it's systems. And I won't get too technical in that, but for anyone that's aspiring for greater, it's technology, it's your network, that's your relationships, and then your systems. You have to figure out a way to automate. I bring that up. I'll circle back around to that in a minute. Testament, a great observation I want to come back to. What did you say? What did you notice about the first 6 people that we mentioned on that
They're
list?
like stars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like basketball players
Yeah.
and actresses and, you know, rappers. It's like, is that the only way we can make it?
Well, not necessarily, because David Stewart, he has technology solutions.
So that's why I love that you brought him up. But I don't want to gloss over this. The first 6
Yeah.
that we said
Yeah.
were in entertainment.
Entertainment.
That's not something that you and I can duplicate.
No.
What can we duplicate? I said it before, I said it again. Technology, systems, and networks. So now, who is David Stewart? A lot of people never heard of his name before.
I just know that he has like this big technology company, and he basically kind of is like a consultant to different businesses. So he's like a programmer. Like he builds programs, and basically he makes it to where you always have to come back to him in the event the program crashes, or in the event that the program needs to be upgraded. Like you literally have to come back and spend millions and millions and millions of dollars with him to upgrade or restart the system. And one thing I do like about him is that you never know, when people have that technology savvy about them, they probably have a switch where they can shut it down on you and make you have to make them come back, you know. And so I'm not saying that's something he did, but if I had a technology company, I think that that's how I would build my programs. It's to where I can hit a button, you know, or you miss a late payment, I can hit a button and make you think your whole system crashed, and now you literally have to come back to me to get it up and running again.
Love it. So this is where we want to be essential. This is a great way. This is a great way to hit 1 million. And I almost want to say easily, what's something that touches everyone every single day?
A cell phone.
And so what we do, a cell phone, great example. Now here's where we can improve, especially in the Black community. When people start a t-shirt business, you can't scale that. You're not going to do 1 billion on t-shirts. They'll start a food business, respectfully. You can't sell that, because if I said, hey, look, I got 5,000 people that need your food right now, you can't do it. So one thing you want to think about, to anyone who's aspiring to greater, how can I control the source? He creates that software. If we could control the factory where they produce the food, anybody say, hey, look, you come use my factory, produce all your products, do it. You don't want to do it anymore? Well, and you can get someone else in there. When you start to control the source, now you can scale. And so what I said on my list, I said technology, network, and systems. The first thing she said out of her mouth about David Stewart was technology. No, you got an emergency? I keep doing. I could do this all day.
No, go ahead.
So I think for anyone right now, it's 2022. I think for anyone that's like, man, how do I break this cycle? How do I bring in some more money for my family? I strongly encourage you to explore technology. And I'm not telling you to go back to school. You grab a Google certificate, go to Facebook. There's courses, a lot of them free, and an entry-level role started at 50 or 60,000. Can you imagine coming out of high school, taking an 8 or even 8 week, 6 month course and doing 50 or 60? What would that do for your family? Now you say, hey, you can get on welfare, and I'm thankful I haven't been in that position. What is that, 20, 30 a year? Maybe, if you have enough kids. Or you could be working 40 hours a week for 50 or 60. What would that do for your family? What would that do for your time? Now, I tell you to get a therapist. That's not like, look, do I eat or get a therapist? Like, yeah, I got a couple of dollars for a therapist. Now we're healing. And so I go back to my previous statement. I truly believe if we're going to change the situation our situation is in, it's going to come with economic power. And technology is just an accelerator, because years ago, it took 30, 40, 50 years to become a billionaire. And then what's the youngest was Zuckerberg. And then the next one was Kylie Jenner. They leveraged systems and their network. So there's so much more we can dive in that. But what advice would you have for someone that's like, man, I want to get some more money. I want to keep it legal. Where do I start?
I think that's a good question, because I think that I'm probably like in that position where it's just like, okay, like what can I do besides just like, you know, trying to advance in like my career or whatever, like something that I can do that I would probably, you know, like I would enjoy doing.
Ooh, that's, yeah, okay, we can make some money. Can we enjoy it too?
Can you enjoy it?
You asking for a lot. You ask for a lot, but at the end of the day, okay. Well, let's talk after the show. That's actually what New Skills New You does. We have 5 main pillars. It's confidence. Yes, confidence is a skill. Communication. I think we talked about that earlier. There's listening, and I actually teach a whole separate module on listening, because you're not listening, you're not communicating, right?
Yeah.
I teach learning. I think that a lot of times we leave school and we stop, and I teach sales skills. And even if you work in a bank, you can use sales skills just to be better in the interview. Like, I'm not telling you to go sell cars, but I am telling you to put yourself in a position to negotiate the highest salary for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm putting you in a position to hear yes more often. So that's where I say, okay, $1 billion is nice. That sounds cool. But what can I do today? Like, I got bills paid
Today. Right now.
So when you said that, we were just discussing, like, okay, what's the first step towards $1 billion? Where will we need to begin? And we were just talking about a path toward that to bring it back in.
I think it's just having the confidence to
What I say earlier.
trust in
Absolutely.
like what you bring into the table.
Yeah.
The confidence to basically be able to just sell and present yourself.
Yeah.
Just technically in the corporate world, we already have like this stigma about who we are automatically. So then don't come in being too proud or too boastful or too big on your accomplishments, because they'll always find a way to humble you, I guess is the way. Bring you back down. So like my idea of life would be able to find, like right now, just where I'm at in life, would be able to find like a job where I can make $100,000 a year. But I would love to be able to have it to where I could give up my home,
Okay.
I guess I'll say this. I wish I had a community or a support system where I could go work that job, literally help where I need to help, because you can't stay nowhere for free. Let me be very clear. You cannot stay anywhere for free.
Talk to him.
But be able to take that $100,000 and be able to, if I have debt, be able to clear my debt. Then be able to stack up maybe like a down payment for a home and go ahead and get that home and buy it. And so that would be my ideal thing to do, right? But you have people who will tell you that you lazy because they don't see what you're doing. Like, they don't see all the extra work that you're doing. So I think it would being able to just have a support system that could trust that what I'm doing is the best for myself, to help not only bring myself up, but bring those up around me. And so it would just be in the confidence to get up in one day and say, I quit, and this is what I'm going to do full time. Just having the trust in myself.
A lot to unpack there. So first, let's go to the end, come back to the beginning. First things first, there's programs where you don't need a down payment to buy a home. So let's not wait till you have $30,000 in the bank. Let's go get it today. Those jobs exist, full remote, 6 figures, without a degree. And again, it's in technology. Technology is the great accelerator. And then what's the other thing you said? Oh, having extra to give back. Yeah. I think I talked to a young lady. I don't even know if she's 25. She's got $50,000 in the bank and about $100,000 in equity in her house. And I'm like, she's white and knows college debt. What would you do? What would your life look like if you had an extra 40 bands? I can't picture it. I don't have it. I ain't gonna make nothing. I'm on the way. So that's where, okay, a lot of people, they see it seems so far away, and so they don't do anything. So here's an actionable step for everyone. Pick one of the 5 skills. I'm actually gonna give you a 6th one, is leadership, and work on that one. If you need help, I'll help you. Just Google New Skills, New You. I promise you I'll pop up. Confidence, communication, learning, leadership, and sales. I added leadership in there. I think leadership has been one of the most valuable skills I've learned. I did not learn that in school. Anybody?
I did not.
Did not.
If you learn leadership,
Well, I don't know, because I just got my master's degree in urban leadership, though.
so that's valuable, because on an organizational level that's necessary. But when I talk about managing people,
Yeah.
that's something that has made me more money, and not just money like dollars, but more opportunities. One of my favorite stories, I was helping out, I was trying to earn a promotion, and I was like, man, I gotta show some leadership. Where do you find leadership? You can't go. So I'm like, man, I've been practicing talking, so let me teach other people how to give presentations. So I did a Google search. I found something called Toastmasters. Has anybody heard of that?
I think I've heard a little bit about that,
Okay.
but not really sure what it is.
It's an international organization that teaches leadership and communication. So I went in there and I said, hey guys, I'm Bruce Hill, New Skills, New You. I'm going to help you with your presentations. And so I worked with people, and they started winning awards. And anybody that worked with me ended up winning prizes. They ended up winning the challenges. They ended up winning contests. And so they're like, hey, we're gonna make you president. I'm like, yo, we ain't gonna vote on this. And so that's where I learned leadership the hard way, but it was in a safe environment. And so I figured out how to leverage my team's skills, and I wasn't the best at a lot of the things necessary to run an organization. I had an accountant, a secretary, and all these things, but I had it down so nice. We met once a week for 30 minutes. We ended up one of the top performing clubs in the nation. One new skill would change your life. And so that's something anyone can do right now that's listening to this. Go Google Toastmasters and your zip code. And a lot of times you can show up for free. So don't give me any excuses. I have no money.
So Toastmasters.
Toast and Masters. That's,
Toast and Masters.
Yep.
All right. So I guess the last and final question, I guess,
Okay.
can be why do you think black billionaires are not as present in the news or on social media as the presence of white billionaires?
Ooh. Somebody else take this one because I'll go off. No?
I mean, I could take the question, but I want
I
to
don't
get.
even know how to answer that, to be honest. I don't know how to answer that.
So ignorance is a form of control. If you see it, you can be it.
Mhm.
So if I don't show you anything other than rapping, what do we
Rapping,
singing,
singing,
and
dancing.
guess what I'm gonna do? And so the fact that I even told you that you could do 50 no degree with technology is gonna change someone's life. They're like, what? How? And they gonna go Google it.
So I got a question then.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you agree with this statement? We make magic and then they blame us for being great.
That's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother episode.
Because if
but
it's
yes.
only presented to us that we can be a rapper or a sports star or an entertainer, right?
Listen, there's so many things that we don't get credit for. The first motor engine for vehicles, black man.
Absolutely.
What revolutionized the cotton industry and built trillions of dollars of wealth, black man. And don't even get me started on black women. Okay.
I know.
So I guess this gonna probably be a loaded one. So the guy that was in the Buffalo shooting, the black guy that had the water engine, because Facebook told me that they needed to fact check this question.
Oh, yeah, it's all
that
real
I asked
convenient.
because it was just a question. No need to fact check it, Facebook. But what was his name? Like Aaron.
Don't give me the line.
I can't think of his last name. But do you think that it was a coincidence that he was in that market that day and
It's a coincidence that someone created a technology that would disrupt, is it 11-figure industry and crash economies worldwide? It just happened to die. Is that what you're asking me? Is
Yeah,
that a coincidence?
yeah.
Sure. Why
You
not?
think it's a coincidence, Tessa?
Why not?
No, for real, I want to know. Because I think that.
If you go back, there's been 4 different people that have invented this engine.
Mhm.
They younger than me and they deader than me.
Oh,
Wow.
You know, go look it up. Creating an engine that runs on water is not new,
I know. I
but
know.
it does seem to be fatal.
That seems to be very fatal. Seems to be very, very fatal. So everyone, my co-host finally
we
made
got a new
it.
dust.
You can either scoot in or.
Your permission to look in that book back on the table. Find
So
the
my
charger,
co-host
plug
finally
in.
made it. This is Rick, everyone. My
Rick.
co-host.
Hi,
This
everyone.
is Bruce.
New skills, new
This
you.
is our
Howdy.
guest.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, boss?
That's my sister Tessa, and this is my good friend Kiana. All right, so we were just on our last question, which you can have this one if you want it. Why do you think black billionaires aren't as present in the news or social media as the presence of white billionaires?
Get them.
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah, we want your honest opinion.
Look, you see his face?
Honesty. Honesty. Because teaching young black boys that they could be a billionaire is a problem with America. Point blank period.
Yep.
That inspires hope,
Mm-hmm.
inspires a will to have change. And as Tupac said, a man's prime is between 15 and about 25. If you can silence that, you got a docile Negro.
So I'll give you the first question since Bruce did want to look back around to it and you just got here. What are some things that would make the black community stronger, more resilient, and more connected?
Acceptance of one another, acknowledgement of one another, No angry attitudes. We have to understand we all humans and actually acknowledge each other. I seen a black dude today. I said, "What's going on, brother?" And he walked right past me.
Yep.
That is the biggest problem, and that will cause change. If we can stop that right there and show it's okay to acknowledge one another.
So what's the action item then? Where do we begin?
By teaching the young. You have to teach the young not to be,
Teach them what?
how to accept each other and acknowledge of one's presence.
So somebody listens to this right now. He's 10. What do you tell him?
If someone speaks to you, you acknowledge their presence. Does not mean you have to carry a conversation with them. You just acknowledge their presence like they acknowledge yours.
Okay.
It's a simple return.
What conversation would you have with the 10-year-old?
I teach him leadership. I would teach him leadership.
Nothing wrong with leadership. Somebody got to follow though.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about leaders is the best leaders are servants.
True.
So it's not a matter of me telling anyone what to do, but if I teach you to serve, I think Martin Luther King said, and excuse me for misquoting, he said, anyone can be great because everyone can serve.
I'm more Malcolm than Martha, but it was Martin.
Nah, you know
I'm
what?
with you.
I was
I'm with
until I
you.
started reading the things that they don't tell you about, the quotes they don't put up on the 15.
No, you know,
Malcolm
I'm
was a
with you.
hitter. That's why they tapped his.
That's why they got him up out of there.
They're like, whoa, you taking economic freedom? Oh, you gotta
Tessa,
go.
what would you tell a 10-year-old?
Ooh. Don't ever give up on what you believe
Oh,
in.
that's good.
Don't ever give up. You know, hold your head up high. Don't never let anyone tell you you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go and be great.
Kiana, what would you
Go
tell
be
them?
great.
Be confident in everything that you do. I think being nice and just being like a caring person. I don't know. I think that would just that's something that I would definitely tell my nephew or tell my niece or, just be like a good person.
I guess what I would tell a 10-year-old is you are going to get a million no's. But all you need is one yes.
Thanks.
And do not be afraid to be the person that tells yourself yes.
I can do this.
Do not be afraid to tell yourself. Don't be afraid to give yourself the yes. Because everyone around you may tell you no. I'm pretty sure somebody told you couldn't do your business, right?
I've been doing this for 15 years. I made over 100,000 phone calls last year. Yeah, somebody told me no.
No. But it took one yes.
I got a couple yeses, but
Okay.
But, you know.
It just takes one yes. And don't be afraid to be the person that tells yourself yes. Do not be the person that looks in the mirror and reminds yourself that you can do it. With determination, with confidence, with being repetitive, because it does. And it becomes very frustrating because to be great at anything, it definitely takes practice. But do not take the no's. Just know that you are allowed to be the yes in your own story.
The no's are not yets, more than no.
oh, that's good.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
All right, so we are coming to a close here. Is there any other things that you would like to elaborate on, or can you tell us more about your business?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm really big on action items. Like I love these conversations, but once the camera turns off, okay, what do I do differently? So again, I'm Bruce Hill, New Skills, New You. I believe that personal development is professional development. And my goal is to help you all hear yes more often. And if you want to tap in, it's New Skills, New You on Instagram, New Skills, New You on Twitter, New Skills, New You on Fanbase. Shout out to Black-owned platforms. I want to make it easier for you to get in touch with me. So if you need some help, get into the next level in your life, get into the next level in your business, I would love to serve.
Tessa, anything you want to promote or say?
I'm gonna say, for me is, we're out here in this community. I'm gonna give an example. My brother's military. He lives in Virginia. The first thing he's retired now, but he says, hey, you need to move here. Black people support one another. You're in the wrong city. Well, no. We need to support one another, and that's what the problem is. It should be anywhere, no matter what city you're in.
Right.
The sad part about it, I'm just going to go back a little bit because it's easy for me to say support black businesses, But then I'll be honest, if I get my nails done here with the Asians, you mad. But then I come get my nails done with you, and you're not giving me good service.
Or you late, or you want to charge me a deposit.
You know, and it's like, we have to find another way to come together and stand up for one another and believe in what we're trying to do. And the bottom line is that it's about supporting, not just as adults. If your child come and say, hey, I want to do this, why you tell me you can't do that?
Dude, that's good.
You know, show him, yes, you can do that. My son, Antoine, took a whole TV loose, and I came home and the TV was all in pieces.
I like this guy.
And you know what I said? You better put it back together, and it better work. And he did exactly that. I come from work, I come sit down, I look up at the TV, it's black. I'm like, he must didn't fix it. He come out the room, he pushed the button, and I'm like, okay, now that's what I'm talking
Shout out to
about.
Antoine. That's
Shout out
dope.
to Antoine.
You know, encourage your children.
Encourage
And like you said, it starts at a young age. You know, we have so many broken homes. So many broken homes. But it has to start with the kids. You have to teach them it's not nice to call him out here or her out her name. It's not nice to be mean to one another. It's not, you know, it has to start. You have to train up. Period. You have to train up.
Kiana, any thoughts? Any last thoughts or comments?
No, just still like, you know, you definitely have to like teach them young. I think that, teaching them when they're younger, I think it's just like easier for them, mold them and make them into a good person.
Rick, any last thoughts?
An apology more or less for being late. My restaurant was about to burn down. I had to go back and save it, you know.
Yeah, that's
Restaurant life. But as far as everything, like she said, encourage them young and literally don't reflect your failures on your kids. And don't let no one else project their failures onto your kids.
Man, hold on, say that again.
Or people.
Say that again, man.
Don't let anyone project their failures onto your kids.
Guys,
Teachers, anything. I remember I was 6. I told my mom I wanted to be the president. And she looked at me like with this face. Now that I'm older, I understand that face was like, don't do that. They kill us. But she said, you can do whatever you want.
Nah.
And that always stuck with me.
So with that being said, we're coming to the close of our episode. Please tune in to my next episode where we will discuss generational trauma. We're trying to be an emotional, mature adult with immature parents/family members. You're more than welcome to come back if you would like
Petty
to.
family
I
members.
need to come back
So
on
everybody,
that.
y'all more than welcome to come in and jump in on that. I do want to give a shout out to Flash and Dash, King of Wings Catering. I would like to give a shout out to Forever Wasted. You can follow all of these people on their Instagrams across any social media. I want to give a shout out to Bright Star Boutique. I want to give a great shout out to who is the producer behind the scenes, Mr. Jabari, who also has his own podcast called You Know What It Is. So make sure you follow that podcast as well on Instagram. My hair, just in case y'all care, is by Twist for Tots. My nails, just in case y'all care about that, is nailed _ 702. And with that being said, that is it. And that is our podcast with Alina, my co-host Rick, my amazing guest, Mr. Bruce, and my amazing sister showing up for support, Tessa, and my amazing friend Kiana. And although he's not on camera, I don't know if you want to just say something in the mic real quick, like a hello, my good friend Marty.
Shout out to Marty.
And that is it, and that is all. And thank y'all so much for tuning in to this episode, and I will see you soon. Have a blessed one.
Hey.